Thank you very much, also for IFWAM and BLW for this invitation. I'm afraid I will repeat a few things. That means handle the same topic, but it will be from a different point of view. It's the point of view of the certification bodies, which is not really repeating the same thing, but maybe it will be interesting to see it from our point of view. So EOCC, very briefly, we are an umbrella organization of control bodies and control authorities, almost 50. We are an international non-profit organization. We have organized ourselves, that means with different members and persons working in the control bodies in different thematic groups. So we have different groups working on specific topics, represented by a lot of members. And our aim as an association is to improve the reliability of controls in the organic sector, and we are trying also to make the control system more harmonized in Europe. I was lucky to be involved also in the revision of the Regulation 2092 into the Regulation 834. And it's interesting to compare a little bit where we come from. So under Regulation 2092, we were inspection bodies. Under Regulation 834, we became accredited control bodies. So the accreditation requirement, which is mentioned here, became mandatory for all private control bodies in the sector since then. The name controls became official controls. Very briefly, that means the risk-based approach became more important, and it was also organized in a way that we were doing delegated activities for the competent authorities. And in the previous regulation, the 2092, we could refer to the name or the code number. Now it became mandatory to refer just to the code number. As a reminder, I did some research. Since 2004 and also in 2007, 9 new member states have joined the European Union, which is quite important. Now, these member states had to organize a control system for organic. And what do we see? 9 out of those 12 organized the control system by delegating the controls to private control bodies. Then there were 2 who conferred it to control authorities, and 1 country set up a mixed system. That means control authorities and control bodies in the same member state. Recently, the Commission has updated its website, and I found this very interesting map, which confirms what I said. So in dark green, for example, in Poland and in Spain, you see there is a mixed control system in the European Union. The orange ones, for example, the Netherlands and Denmark, they have a public authority. So the control system is public authority, and all the rest, control systems, are organized, is carried actually by private control bodies. Now, under Regulation 834, published in 2007, but applicable since the 1st of January 2009, we have seen quite some changes. Not only the organic sector has grown, much more operators, much more products, but also the number of control bodies has grown, and those who already existed became bigger ones. But was there only more? There's a need for supervision. So actually there should also, it would be normal if we would see that a control body would disappear from the system. And yesterday I learned actually it happened in 2012. There was a control body in Poland which was withdrawn, which was no longer allowed to be active in the sector. But I only learned this today. It's a bit strange. That should be known faster and at a wider scale, I think. But also, since this shift of control system, since this shift of regulation from 2092 to 834, did we see a shift in the organization? That means, was there a member state that said the private control bodies, now it's enough, we are going to shift to control authorities? I didn't see any. I don't know if it happened. So since 2007, I'm not aware that a member state has changed its control system like in the previous slide. We've seen this regulation 392 appear in April last year. It's applicable from the 1st of January. We've had lots of presentations about this already. I'm going to just mention these topics which are interesting for control bodies. There is a definition of what is a control file. That means what does have to be transferred between control bodies in case of change of control body. There's the declaration of the operator. That's the description of his activities. That needs to be more detailed. There is particular attention for subcontractors now. That was a little bit a gray area, so that now is also solved. It needs to be written down how these operators work with subcontractors. We have the risk-based sampling. We have the random control visits, which are mandatory, which is also risk-based. We have unannounced control visits. An important improvement also for supervision from the competent authorities with the reporting which has been documented in templates. And we have, very important also, an effort to try to work with a catalog of measures at the level of the competent authority. I could talk a lot about this, but I want to have one example. It's the impact of the sampling, so the 5%. Now, we have to take samples. And what's important, the objective of sampling is defined. There are 3 reasons why we should take samples at control body level. The objectives have not changed. What has changed is now that we have to take those samples. So it is for detecting of products not authorized, for checking of production techniques, and for detecting of possible contamination. Under and after this regulation 834, the control bodies and the Association of Control Bodies, EOCC, has worked hard and long on continuous improvement and adjustment of what we do. At control body level, we help, at EOCC level, we help the control bodies to look better to the past, to the present, and to the future, in order to have a better understanding of what's going on. At EOCC level, a lot of things have gone on as well. So we have started work on cross-checks. That means verified traceability. We help those control bodies to have more effective checks on that. We are working on improvement of risk approach, so risk-based controls. We're working on inspectors qualification, what is e-certification, and we have published this pesticide residue guidelines last year to adjust to the growth of the sector and the need of the control bodies. After this 834, we will continue with that work to adjust and to work in function of the needs of our control bodies. But we have learned about this revised 882, the official food control, and we've read that we will become delegated body. So in the organization, right now, we have some questions. So we don't know exactly how it will go in future. Maybe some things will change, maybe nothing will change. So when all and some of or none of the current core business may be delegated, we have to reorientate ourselves in our future position. Will we be independent? There is an accreditation requirement which is not really mentioned in the official and feed control. So how will we be independent compared to the situation that we have today? And well, things may change, but when? How is it possible that we prepare to such a thing? Maybe we don't have to prepare, I don't know. So there is some uncertainty. I tried to summarize a few things. I've learned from Giulia that maybe one thing is already wrong in this presentation, but the operator and the delegated body and the competent authority will continue to exist in the new control system. What we do not really know and what may change is where will be the information flow and where will be the decision making. Because we have an additional element in this official and food control that talks about official certification as well. It's not only official controls. Official certification is handling of the non-compliance, issuance of the certificates, and at which level this will be. It may be at the level of the competent authority, or it may be at the level of the delegated body. And if there are more than one competent authorities in one member state, maybe we will have a different situation there as well. So here, it would be interesting if we have some clarification, and the negotiations may have to take place at member state level. So the mistake that is in this slide is that apparently there will be no invoicing from the competent authority to the operator, because that is not necessary for organic. Now, very briefly also, because I think a visual presentation helps. This is what we do today. Control body, making the decision and informing the operator as regards what we see at the level of that operator. So we have like a light that shines on that operator. And that's for all the operators. And we exchange information among ourselves. When we take a sample here, we find the problem, we find the pesticide residue. We have to see if everything is compliant here. If it's not, we ask our colleagues. Now, competent authorities are above us. They shine the light on the whole, on more than one control bodies. And here, well, maybe the flow of information and decision-making may become a little bit more complicated in future. May. We don't know. We hope it will not. Anyway, the question was, what will be the future of organic controls? I don't think that it is up to us. The future of organic controls will go hand in hand with other trends, other things that will move. It will go hand in hand with production and labeling rules in general. It will go hand in hand with the future of decision-making, and it will go hand in hand with the capacities and the commitment at authority level. That was what I wanted to say to you now. Thank you.